France and Germany are squabbling over Brexit as negotiators entered the final hours to clinch a trade deal. With officials on both sides warning of further deadlock, the influential EU capitals were at loggerheads over whether to let Michel Barnier make a last-minute compromise to end the impasse. UK sources said progress had been made putting pen to paper on the Brexit trade deal, but ongoing disputes over future fishing rights and common standards were blocking a breakthrough. An EU diplomat added, "Barnier is still there, things are not moving forward, but that's hardly new." The French government was in no mood to drop its uncompromising stance after it forced the EU's Brexit chief Mr. Barnier to table new demands that sparked a breakdown in the talks. In an antagonistic television appearance, Europe Minister Clement Beaune for the first time publicly declared his country's plan to vote down the trade deal unless Boris Johnson offers significant concessions on access to Britain's waters. Mr. Beaune fumed, "If there were a deal that isn't good, which in our evaluation doesn't correspond to those interests, we will oppose it." France, like all its partners, has the means of a veto. "We must make our own evaluation of course of this deal. We owe that to the French people, we owe it to our fishermen, and to other economic sectors." The French sparked a blow-up in the talks after forcing Mr. Barnier to make 11th-hour demands that prevented negotiators from getting a deal over the line. But Angela Merkel today insisted the EU would have to give more ground if they are to clinch an agreement. The German Chancellor's spokesman said the bloc should be ready to compromise as time runs out. Stefan Seibert said, "For the Chancellor, and that hasn't changed for weeks, the willingness to compromise is needed on both sides. If you want to have a deal, both sides need to move towards each other. Everybody has their principles, there are red lines, that's clear, but there's always room for compromise." EU officials hinted that the bloc's leaders could arrange an emergency summit later this month to rubber stamp an agreement. They were due to sign off on the deal at their European Council gathering on December 10. The European Parliament is still set to complete the EU's ratification process during a special plenary session on December 28.